Welcome to the Public Health Industry channel. In this video, we are going to see about self-applied topical fluorides. So, in this video, we are going to cover about the basics of fluorides, what are the different classifications and how can we classify fluorides. Then, particularly, we are going to see which place self-applied topical fluoride holds and what are the various forms of self-applied topical fluorides that are available in Indian markets for patients or the general public's use, and how each and every individual can use this self-applied topical fluorides, what technique should they follow, and how they can use it for their betterment, for the betterment of the oral health, so that they don't have any forms of renal caries in their future. So let's go to the video.
So now we have seen what is fluoride and who are all to be eligible to get fluoride. Okay. So now how we are going to give them the fluoride application, or how we are going to apply fluoride for them. So there are different methods of delivery of fluoride to each and every individual. So based on my simple classification, you can understand how fluoride can be delivered to every individual. So there are two types of fluoride delivery methods. One is topical fluorides and the other one is called systemic fluorides. So topical, as the name suggests, means topical, that is superficial application. So the localized tooth structure is being exposed to the fluoride chemical. So the tooth is exposed locally to the fluoride chemical and superficially it is applied, and hence the name called topical fluorides. Systemic fluorides, whereas it is just ingestion, that is we are consuming fluoride in our food or any other form into the oral cavity. We swallow, it is getting digested, it is coming through the circulation again back to the oral cavity and any other parts of the body. This form of fluoride delivery is called systemic fluorides. Now we are more concerned about self-applied topical fluorides. So I am going to go to the classification for topical fluorides alone. So how the first, before going that, I'll tell you what is topical fluoride, how to define topical fluoride, and I'll give you a definition by Stuckey. So Stuckey has defined topical fluorides as fluoride for a local chemical reaction to the exposed surface of the erupted dentition. So it is a local chemical reaction on the exposed surface of the teeth. So that is called fluoride. So how to classify this topical fluoride? We can classify it into professionally applied and self-applied. Again, as the name suggests, professionally applied means it is done by professionals. So who are the professionals? Obviously the dentists and doctors, those who are trained to apply fluorides. So when they are applying to the patients, it is called professionally applied topical fluorides. Whereas self-applied is by individual patients. They can apply by themselves. They don't need any assistance, or they don't need any form of training or techniques to apply such fluorides. They can apply it by themselves by simple form techniques. So we are concerned more about the self-applied topical fluorides, and so we'll further classify self-applied alone. So classifying self-applied topical fluorides, it is classified into fluoride dentifrice, fluoride gels, and fluoride mouth rinse. So dentifrice is toothpaste, fluoride gels, and fluoride mouth rinse. So we are going to see individually how fluoride dentifrices are, how fluoride gels are, and how fluoride mouth rinse are. So now we'll go on to the fluoride dentifrice. So first is fluoride dentifrice. It was first given by Bibby in 1942. Okay. So the first approved, that is FDA approved fluoride dentifrice is stannous fluoride, and it was approved in 1955. Although it was the first fluoride dentifrice to be approved, we are not using this stannous fluoride because of its disadvantages. Now, after stannous fluoride, there are many developments in fluoride dentifrices, and now we have many compounds in fluoride dentifrices like sodium fluoride, stannous fluoride, monofluorophosphate, and amine fluoride. So we are going to see individually each fluorides. Coming to sodium fluoride. Sodium fluoride dentifrice, it was approved by FDA in 1973 only. Okay. Now the sodium fluoride dentifrice is easy to manufacture, but it has its own disadvantage also. First thing is, the sodium fluoride dentifrice acts on the tooth surface and it reacts with the hydroxyapatite crystals and changes its morphology. This form of sodium fluoride dentifrice is efficient in giving an anti-caries resistance, but still it is not that much used because of its own disadvantages. Now going on to stannous fluoride dentifrice. As I said before, it was first approved dentifrice and by the FDA in 1955, but it has its own disadvantages. That is why it is not seen in market to nowadays. What are the disadvantages of stannous fluoride? The first and foremost disadvantage is metallic taste. Stannous fluoride is supposed to give metallic taste while using it. So this metallic taste is always an irritant while using, and hence it is not used. The second foremost disadvantage of stannous fluoride is it is going to cause pigmentation of your tooth or gums. So this form of pigmentation doesn't occur after immediately using the toothpaste, but when it is used for a longer time, it leads to pigmentation. So this forms of side effects from the stannous fluoride should be avoided, and hence it is not used in the markets. Apart from this, stannous fluoride as such is not a stable form of chemical because it has to be used along with calcium pyrophosphate, but stannous fluoride along with calcium pyrophosphate is not stable in nature, and hence it is used with stannous pyrophosphate. So this form of unstable chemical for the anti-cariogenic property on the tooth with all these disadvantages is not viable at all. Hence it is not in the market. Whereas the advantage is that it has the maximum percentage of reduction of caries when it is applied on the tooth surface, but it has its own disadvantages. Now I'm going on to monofluorophosphate. This is one of the most successful form of fluoride, that is fluoride dentifrice available, and it is almost seen in every toothpaste that you come across. So what is this monofluorophosphate? It was first introduced in 1981. Monofluorophosphate is a synthetic compound. It does not occur naturally, whereas they are manufacturing this monofluorophosphate in laboratories. So this monofluorophosphate itself is manufactured so that it has its own anti-cariogenic property. So this monofluorophosphate, by its manufacturing nature itself, is an anti-cariogenic property. Okay, so how it is anti-cariogenic? Because it is going to react with the hydroxyapatite crystals, and it is going to exchange its phosphate ions with the crystals, which will in turn make the crystals resistant to caries. So this is the action of monofluorophosphate. So potassium nitrate and sodium monofluorophosphate medicated toothpaste, which is obviously available. It is named as Tintosec. Now going to amine fluorides. So amine fluorides, it was first tested in Switzerland, and it is the recent fluoride that has been invented for toothpaste. So the amine fluoride has its own abrasion and polishing quality, whereas it has the least foaming action compared to other toothpaste. So what are the other forms? What are the other advantages? Is that it has more affinity to enamel. The amine fluoride ions have more affinity to enamel and hence get easily attracted to the enamel of the tooth. So this form of fluoride is easily going to react with the tooth. But the only disadvantage is similar to the stannous fluoride is it has an bitter taste, and it is a form of unpleasant taste to use it daily. Hence amine fluoride is not of that usage, and it has also its own disadvantages, like amine fluoride is going to cause some other physical side effects and general side effects to the whole health. Hence amine fluoride is not that much used for a long term. So now we have seen various dentifrice. Now we are going into mouth rinse. So mouth rinse was also accepted by the ADA, and they have accepted acetylated phosphate fluoride, that is APF, and sodium fluoride as mouth rinse. So what is the action of mouth rinse? So sodium fluoride mouth rinse, we have two concentrations available in the market. One is 0.2%, which is for weekly use, and another one is 0.05%, which is for daily use. So this weekly use is 900 ppm of fluoride, that is parts per million of fluoride, whereas 225 ppm is for 0.05%, which is for daily use. So this mouth rinse has an effective action compared to the fluoride dentifrice because it is just used by just swishing into the mouth. So we are going to take 10 ml of this solution and swish it in the mouth for 60 seconds. So this is going to give you a more positive result compared to the fluoride dentifrice, which is available. Now going on to fluoride gels. Compared to the mouth rinse and other fluoride dentifrices, fluoride gels plays its own vital role in preventing dental caries. So there are different forms of gel available: neutral sodium fluoride gel, acidulated phosphate fluoride gel, and stannous fluoride gel. Okay, this form of fluoride is usually professionally applied, but few gels can be used by self applications also using using toothbrush or using foam trays. So foam trays, you disperse on the foam tray, which is in the form of your maxilla, and you apply it on your tooth directly, or you use a toothbrush to paint this gel on your teeth and then rinse your mouth. But the disadvantage is that we cannot give it to children who are less than 6 years and who are at 6 years and younger than 6 years. Why is it? Because this gel these children have a higher chance of swallowing this gel, and this swallowing will lead to fluoride toxicity or excess exposure to fluoride, which will have severe side effects. Hence, this gel is not usually encouraged for self-application, but it can be advised when the patient is matured enough to use it properly as per the directions, and he can enjoy its credentials. So, fluoride gel has its own beneficiaries only when used at correct directions. So, fluoride gel is not recommended for children who are 6 years and younger, and fluoride gel has its own disadvantages like fluoride toxicity and excessive ingestion and swallowing of fluoride gels, all these things, and hence this gel is not that much recommended by the dentist for self-application, whereas it is recommended for professionally applied forms of fluoride.